Welcome to this week's Contemplatio. When we read this passage from John's Gospel, we are standing on holy ground. We are invited to the intimate prayer of Jesus, a look into Jesus and his relationship with his Father, with the eternal Trinity. He speaks of his own beginning, a beginning where Jesus was clearly with God, before he came to do the work here on earth with a mission to reveal in human form the infinite love and mercy of God. Jesus speaks from the depths of his heart. We hear him acknowledge the Father's love for him and his love for his Father, who is the heart and the core of his very being. It is a love that is with him right to the end, even to the cross, to the point of giving his all, his life. This intimate relationship knows no boundaries, a love that was a part of him from the very beginning, and it never left him. As that line states, the glory that I had in your presence before the world existed. Many years ago, I read Ronald Wolheiser's The Restless Heart, and there was a passage that has never left me because it speaks of this eternal love, this boundless love that neither time nor space can break. He suggests that each of us has a deep memory of having once been touched and caressed by God before we entered our mother's wombs. Like the ancient legend that claims that each soul is kissed by God and goes throughout life with this memory deep within. This memory so entwined in our psyche that each soul spends most of the rest of their lives in some way trying to remember its original sweetness and comparing all of life in relation to that. That is why we are always hungering for God. There is always a longing in the heart. In John's Gospel, Jesus speaks to his Father with tenderness for those he walked with through his life and ministry. And he wants for them, he wants for us, what he and his Father have, an eternal bond and connection, a oneness that was there from the beginning of time. He speaks directly to what was before, and then on our behalf asks that we may know this oneness, then that he asks him to protect in his name what he was given by his Father, so that we may be one as we are one, Father. Jesus is witness to that oneness. He loved with a self-surrendering love. And when he loves as he loves, we too are a part of this powerful love force, God force. We need to love in that way, the Trinity in motion, the love force, the never-ending circle of love. We are absorbed into love, and we know God and each other in that love. A good friend of mine often asks, how will we find each other in the next life? And it's a mystery that we really can't answer. But I find myself saying, the more I say it, the more I think I believe it, that we won't have to go searching for each other because we will be in the circle of love, the energy of love, and we will recognize each other. We will know one another in that love. Cynthia Bourgeois helps us see this very thing in the passage we read today, that in relationships that are marked by a particular intimacy and spiritual kinship, love continues and even strengthens. She speaks of such unions that continue beyond the grave, relationships where the two beloveds drink deeply of that complete self-surrender in love. And that love cannot be separated by physical death. As the beautiful love song in Song of Songs, verse 8 reminds us that such divine spiritual connectedness is a love stronger than death. It continues to flourish and can still bear much fruit. Perhaps you can attest to this presence of love being stronger after death from your own experience of loss. I invite you to take some time today, perhaps, and think if you've known this personally, or perhaps you've been a witness to it. Today's readings help us see life and death from a different lens. Death isn't the end, certainly not the end of love. It is actually part of the eternal flow of love. Love is eternal. True love has no beginning and no end. And like a circle, a never-ending thing, love, God, has always been and always will be. And we are from that love. We have been kissed before we were here, and we will return to that kiss. Today, I pray that we take the time to come to know that love and this friendship with God that Jesus longs for us to have, that we can see the many ways Jesus has tried to reveal to us the infinite love and mercy of God in all of our life circumstances. Help us, God of love, to know your love deeply and in this life, so that we can see each other as brothers and sisters, all sharing that same primordial kiss from our Creator, and that all are part of this circle of love that is always going to be stronger than death.